We're not going to accept mediocrity. We're not going to accept not getting it done on the floor. Latch on to the back of the bandwagon because things be changing here in the Bay Area.
What was it like for your parents to watch Mark Jackson grow up as a basketball player?
It was a lot of fun. My mom and dad both played sports. My dad would have been a professional baseball player. Unfortunately, at that time, African Americans were not allowed to play, but I watched him as a great player. It was a joy for them to watch me play. My mom was more vocal. My dad would sit away from my mom because he was more quiet. As my mom would yell, every referee today in the NBA knows my mom by her first name. My dad would just sit there and I'd look at him even when I accomplished and I was in the NBA, and he'd either do this, or clap. And with those simple gestures, I totally understood what he was saying. But great experience and really molded me into the player that I was, but more importantly, the person that I am.
So even in the NBA, it was important to please Dad?
It was very important. I can remember, and I'd have a triple-double in the playoffs, and the only reason I remember is because my dad actually gave me the stat sheet, and it hangs up in my office to this day. Because my whole life, my dad, I don't care what kind of numbers I had in a game, he'd tell me what I could have done better. He wasn't the type that would say, you know, great job, you were outstanding, you the man. He was the one that say, well, you could have made this play, you could have done that. And I think it balanced it out because with my mom, I couldn't do no wrong, so it made a huge difference.
Now, how are you applying that now with your son, Mark, who's at Louisville?
I apply it. I'm a different dad. I'm the same dad, but I'm different. My dad was an old school dad that never showed affection until the last 6 months of his life when he was battling cancer. He realized how easy it was and how much of a stronghold it was to not say, I love you. I knew he loved me. There's no question about that. But to kiss hello, to kiss goodbye, to hug, to say I love you. Valuable, valuable time that we spent together those last 6 months. And with my kids, not just Mark at Louisville, but no matter all of my kids, we shower each other with affection. We shower each other with love. It's not about making it to the NBA. With me, it was a necessity to get my family out of where we were at. I wasn't in the projects, I wasn't in the hood, but there was always better. With my kids, I mean, look where we're at. You know, my son's not saying I want to get my dad out of his neighborhood or, you know, or my mom away from where she lives. No, it's different. But I tell you what, I couldn't be proud of my kids, and in particular my oldest, who's setting the tone for the rest of the group. Just an extremely incredible young man.
How are you when you watch them play sports?
I'm a very emotional guy, so I can go to a game and like last year going to the University of Louisville to watch a game. My son was a redshirt freshman, but as I walk into the arena, they sell me a program, and my son's on the cover. So here I am, Mark Jackson, tears in my eyes, and I value it. I truly value it, and I don't take anything for granted. I'm tough because I'm sort of a chump when it comes to watching my kids perform or do what they do. I'm an extremely proud dad.
Talk about your other kids, and you still got a lot of parenting to do.
Yes, we do. Not just Mark, but I have a daughter, Heaven, who's in the 11th grade, son Christian, who's in the 7th grade. Both of them go to the same school, middle school, high school, which is an incredible school here in California. Proud of them. And then I have an 8-year-old son, Micah, who both of the young boys love basketball, love sports, and just great kids all around. I'm very fortunate. I know I made a joke on Twitter the other day talking about basketball wives, and people rave about my kids. I wish I could take credit for it. It really is who I married, and my wife is an incredible woman and an incredible mom that sets an example.
And I don't know if a lot of people know about your wife, Desiree Coleman, who was a singer and an actress, and you had one of those movie-like experiences when you saw her. When you saw her, you knew this was it.
Yes, and might I correct you, it's Desiree Coleman Jackson. I paid for that last name. So. but the truth is, I was sitting in my living room with my friend at the time, you know, who works for the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden. But we're sitting because we lived together, and I'm watching a TV show, and I see this girl, so humble, beautiful. I just saw a light over her, and I said to my friend, "That's my wife. I'm marrying her." And this guy's like, "Come on, man, you serious? Who you think you're talking to?" And you know, a couple of weeks later, we ran into her. I asked her out on a date. She said no. 2 more times later, she said no. Finally, the 3rd time, I guess her mindset was, let me get rid of this clown. She said yes, and from there on, you know, the rest is history. But it was something different about this woman. I'm so proud because I didn't waste my #1 draft choice. I'm still holding on, and things are going well.
Now, I heard, I could be way off base here, that one of the dates you tried to get her to go on was to watch you play in the '89 All-Star game, and you had like courtside or very close to courtside seats, and she said no?
I was doing it big. She didn't know me. So this was probably the 3rd time that I asked her out. I said, hey, I can fly you to the All-Star game, which is in Houston. I just happen to be honored to be a guy that's going to be in the game. You can have your own hotel room, and we could just spend time together. And she said no. And what I tell so many people is that if she would have sold out, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. Because of her stance, because of her commitment, because of her love of God, she refused to sell out to the world. And it showed me something different about her that I had not seen, because I was a guy that was used to getting my way.
Now, she's the actress and the singer, but you had a role in Eddie. but I you know, having seen the movie, you allowed yourself to get upstaged by Oldham Polonies? I mean, come on.
Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. It was a lot of fun. It was a great time. I'm actually the only person in that movie that did not read for the part because I knew the producer. I actually came the day before they started filming, and it wasn't a stretch. Who you saw in that movie, I really portrayed myself. So every line that I had in that movie was created on the spot.